In this video we're going to show you how to disassemble and clean your XC112 or XC224. They're the same machine, just double bowl versus single bowl. We're also going to talk about some troubleshooting tips. So for cleaning the machine after use, the first thing you're going to want to do is to remove the drip trays, which are the black pieces on the front. Those come out. You want to empty the condensation out of there, and those are dishwasher safe. If you want to throw those in the dishwasher, just put them on the top rack and don't use heated dry. Cleaning the machine regularly after every few uses, you're just going to run warm soapy water through the top of the machine and out the nozzle. After you've used the machine a few times, you rinse it after the warm soapy water, but after you've used the machine a few times, you're going to want to fully disassemble and clean it. That would include taking the top off. That's just going to have to be hand washed with a damp cloth. You don't want to submerge it since it has the light assembly. Disassembling the nozzle is a little bit tricky. You're going to want to pull the pin out of the nozzle assembly. Once you pull that pin out, then the handle comes out and the plunger and spring come out the bottom. All these are dishwasher safe, but again, you're going to want to put them in the top rack, and you're not going to want to use the heated dry setting on your dishwasher. Once the nozzle's out, you remove the bowl. To remove the bowl, you lift up on the front of the bowl. It comes out of a little notch that holds it on, and then the bowl just pulls right off. Although the bowls are dishwasher safe, we really don't recommend you put them in the dishwasher. Best to wash those with just warm soapy water. Do not use an abrasive. Don't use a scour pad. Don't use Clorox. That'll all scratch the clear surface of the bowl, then it won't look very good at all. So just wash those with warm soapy water and a washcloth. Removing the auger, that just pulls right off the front of the machine. A little wiggle and a pull and it comes out. That again is dishwasher safe, top rack, no heated dry. With those parts cleaned, you can also wipe down that freezing cylinder. The seals generally don't need to be cleaned, but you can pull those seals off if you want. That's the rear seal on the back of the machine. He's checking right now. The front mushroom seal on the front of the auger shaft can also be pulled and cleaned. It's a little suction cup that goes on there. Real easy just to wipe down and re-lubricate. The key to putting these things together and making it easy is making sure you have those seals, both the back seal lubricated and then the suction cup part of the front seal lubricated. Any restaurant quality lubricant will work. You can buy that at any restaurant supply store for about $4 or $5 for a tube. The tube should last you about 2 or 3 years. It goes a long way. So reassembly, you're going to put the auger back on. Again, the auger has a notch in the front of it that corresponds to the notch on that shaft on the front of the machine. So you rotate that until it pushes right up in there nice and good. Putting the bowl back on the machine is a whole lot easier if you've lubed that seal, but just slide it very carefully over the auger. And then the notches on the front of the bowl had to be pushed into the notches on the front of the machine. And kind of the trick there is to make sure that that freezing cylinder and auger that are on there have a point on the front of them, and that point fits into a little receptacle in the front of the bowl there. So you have to make sure those two are lined up before you push on really hard. Reassembly of the nozzle, not real difficult. First you slide the spring in, then you put the plunger in underneath it. Those seals again are good to lubricate before you put in there with your restaurant lubricant. The end on the handle goes into the slot on the plunger, and then you just slide the pin in through the hole on the handle. All together, actually make sure it's all good, no problem. When everything is lubricated well, this process goes a whole lot easier. Putting the lid and drip trays back on, pretty simple. Slide the drip tray under and make sure it's underneath the tube that comes out of the machine to catch condensation. Lid on top and plug that in. Troubleshooting these machines, the overwhelming issues that pop up on these, probably 90% of the issues that will come up on a Granita machine are mix related. If you don't have at least 15% sugar or alcohol in your mix, the mix will not slush, and that causes all sorts of problems. One of the first signs of that is if the outside of your bowl starts to form ice on it before your mix actually slushes up, then your mix probably doesn't have the proper sugar or alcohol ratio in it. Adjusting the consistency is the screw on the back of the machine that we discussed in the setup video. That will adjust the thickness for you. If it's too thin or too thick, you can adjust that. Plus is thinner, or plus is thicker, minus is a thinner mix. To test your machine, if your mix isn't cooling and you want to check and see if the machine is actually cooling properly, an easy thing to do is to turn the machine on without any mix in it and turn it on refrigeration mode, and then just watch the augers spin and the freezing cylinder in there. It should start to ice over like your windshield would in the wintertime. You'll see frost forming on that freezing cylinder. If frost is forming on that freezing cylinder within about 4 to 5 minutes of the machine being turned on, and your mix isn't freezing properly, then that means it's a mix problem. It's the machine is cooling, but the mix isn't able to freeze because of the chemical constituency, i.e. the lack of sugar or alcohol in the mix, or it can even happen because of too much sugar or alcohol in the mix. That's pretty much how you disassemble, clean your XC112 or 224 machine, and also how you would troubleshoot most of the issues.